What's good, gang? It's your favorite random DarkKentX. Please say the X. And we're back with yet another chronicle for your viewing pleasure. And in today's episode, we gotta talk about my first ever completed daily race. But before we get into the asterisk of today's race, welcome to the new viewers. Welcome back to the returning ones. Salute. Appreciate y'all boys and girls, if it applies. As you view my qualifying lap in the back, I think I got a 207, I believe. Not the best, not the worst. Highest on my friends list. chuckle. But I was really attempting to get some practice in. I'd never driven a GT2, well, a GR2, whatever it was. This level of vehicle, I had never driven in my GT7 journey. I had never driven this Acura NSX. I chose it because the one car that I won recently from watching one of the Gran Turismo races and predicting the winner, y'all know, if you know, you know. But anyway, I won the 767B, I think it's called, that everybody crazy about, and I won some Nissan GR2, whatever it was. I didn't care for it because I actually tried that first, and then it was terrible. The car felt heavy, so I tried out the NSX and was like, hey, I can work with that. So in about 10 laps of practice, I was able to pull off a 207, which, as you see now, landed me second on the grid. Not too shabby. Now, this race, for my first daily to be 24 laps of Spa was crazy. But I felt very prepared, even though I'd never driven this particular vehicle or type of vehicle, because behind the scenes, I've been driving this track a lot lately. When I used it for a grinding method that I was doing to get some credits up for the big video that I've been telling y'all I've been working on. I'm sorry it got delayed, but I had to wait on a couple things and I got that now. So I'm gonna have that out soon. But yeah, I was grinding this track. I was also using this track for a future video. So I've spent a lot of time on this track, and if y'all have been paying attention to the videos recently, you've seen I've gone no HUD. Not only no HUD, but you don't see the brake zones, the turn indicators. I don't think I've ever used the racing line, but all of that is gone. And I'm completely confident without it. Now this race, I should have had the race info up because I wasn't aware exactly of the lap. And had it been more competitive, I would have wanted to pit earlier than I did, because I believe I stayed out to lap 15 of 24 before I pit. But I made it work. And as you can see, P1, I was zoned, but I'm gonna make a few mistakes in these first couple laps to where the gap was bigger than it needed to be, but I did start to close it up, and you'll see that. But anyway, I felt great around the track. I know the mistakes I made, I know how I made them, and I was gonna correct them with time. We kinda wouldn't get there, and you'll see why soon enough. But I want you to see that I was able to hang with this guy. His qualifying lap was like 3/10 ahead of mine, and I'm not sure how long he's been doing this, but mind you, I had maybe 10 laps in on this car. That's it. I was inspired earlier today while I was watching my guy Eric be the realest. Shout out to Eric and Team RSR over there. Love what you're doing, man. But yeah, I was inspired by them earlier today. You know, watching my man race live on YouTube, and him and his chat was discussing the differences between the quality of drivers in daily races versus the Manufacturer's Cup. To me, it would appear that the Manufacturer's Cup is a level above, but being that I had done neither, I had nothing to base any judgment on. So that inspired me. It motivated me to finally go ahead and get a daily race done. I don't know why I've been so damn near petrified of doing this. Felt like, oh, I hadn't practiced enough. I hadn't. I just got to it, and I got my first win today in my first completed race. So allow me to expound on that asterisk and why it's there, and why I keep stressing completed race. Prior to this race, I had 2 online races on my record. Now, the first one completely accidentally went into it. Had no idea what I was doing. Y'all, I'm still fairly new to Gran Turismo. GT7 is my first ever Gran Turismo, and even though I've had the game since it dropped, I really started playing it about a year ago. And even now, I mean, even when I say started playing it, I picked it up and probably put it down for another 5 months before I started really doing anything with it. Once I started making videos for it is when I really picked it up. Formula 1 before that, then Grid Legends. We don't have to remind anybody about Grid Legends, but yeah, it wasn't the game of choice for me, but since I've been on it, you know, when I find the time, I get to it. I need to actually show my hours played of this game, and I can promise you that whatever those hours is, you can subtract about 6, 7, maybe 10 hours of it from me falling asleep in the rig because I usually get started so late. But anyway, the first time I got into a daily race, complete accident, had no idea what I was doing, and then I just turned it off. I didn't want to race. I was really new to VR. I remember I had just got my PSVR 2, and also I was just trying to see what things were, and you know, blah. The other time was I was actually attempting to record a daily race video when I was planning to do this a while back. That video ended up turning into 2 separate videos. It was one about the wheel I made off of Reddit, which I was calling the Fanatec M Sport GT. You may have seen it. Hopefully you have. If you haven't, go check that out. And the second video was Formula 1 being greater on Gran Turismo 7 than the actual F124 game. That video. So those 2 videos came out of me attempting to make a daily race video. Those 2 specifically because that wheel I don't know what happened there, and I didn't want to overtalk that, but I didn't get to overtake the guy. Like, in my mind, I knew I was gonna do it. I knew it was gonna happen. I could feel it, but I didn't get to prove it to myself. Yeah, I was saying that the 2 videos came out of it because my wheel and going into that Formula race, it had that issue of almost like a stick drift. It wasn't a physical stick drift, but yeah. Pretty big mistake I made there. I got a little carried away, but as you see, I didn't get passed by anyone, and I have a little tire damage, front bumper, left front. So I'm thinking, ooh, should I pit? At this point, I'm maybe lap 11 or 12 in my mind. Again, without the race info displayed, I'm not completely sure. I check again and the damage is gone. So the mechanical damage must have been on light. I thought it was heavy. Cool, I'm good to go. Tires feel great. Not too much wear. Let's go. But as I was saying, I'm sorry. The wheel, the issue that it was having, it just kept moving around and doing things when I didn't want it to, and I ended up, that was the night that I fell asleep. Like I started it, I mean it was really late. I started it, I still had some time to wait, and yeah, I was out of there, knocked out. So that's why I keep emphasizing completed race. There you have the story. And now you have my first ever win. Full circle. This was super fun, man. The 24 laps wasn't as challenging to me as I once thought it would have been. It is only it's the second longest I've done, because I've done a 1 hour race a couple times now, grinding. But yeah, it was fun. It turned into a lot of quality laps for me after first place. Whatever happened with him, shout out to that guy, because I was looking forward to that race. I thought it was gonna be dope. Everybody else, Gapplebees, VIP reservations. Shout out to y'all too, for, you know, providing my first win. I think most people ended up actually leaving. I think we started with 13 races. I believe we ended with 4. And were it not for my crash, man, I think I would
later that the old narrator got tired of waiting, and they had to hire a new one.
Place by 49 plus. You see, sport mode debut. So, hey man, thanks for watching. Till next time. If it ain't dope, it ain't me, and it shouldn't be you either. DVO gang. Peace, y'all.